and welcome back to All Things Magical. Today, I wanted to show you something. I was out and about, and I found this wonderful deck. Now, I looked at other people doing a review on this deck, and it seems like, some people say it's not very good, but I love this deck. This is a great deck. I am a dragon lover. If you can't tell, I got a phoenix behind me. It's a polar opposite of a dragon. It's the yin and yang. So, to find a tarot deck that truly inspires my dragoness, it's been a challenge. There's a lot of dragon tarots out there that they just don't fit the bill. They don't inspire. They don't have the power. They're all like, I don't know, floofy. And I'm just not a floofy kind of girl. I want a dragon tarot. I want power and aggression, and I want inspiration in life. If I want something dull, I'll just stay home and watch TV. I want to be inspired. So when I found this deck, it really spoke to me. Now, I bought this deck at local metaphysical store here in town. So I did pay a little extra than what you probably could find it online, but still the price point was still pretty good. It's about $24. So I didn't think that was too bad. Knowing how the rates go, you probably could find it online for probably around 19, maybe even 17 if you really looked. I'm sure there's used decks out there. There's no reason not to buy a used deck, as long as you cleanse and, neutralize whatever might be on it. You're supposed to be doing that with your decks anyway. So if you can't afford, the higher price, please, I encourage you to get a used deck. Saves it from being sitting on someone's shelf, not being used or getting thrown away. Let's think common sense. Used decks are great. If you want a new deck, that's great too. I did buy this new because it was at my metaphysical store, which helps my local business. It helps ensure that I have a place that I can go and physically touch things. It's so important, especially if you're into metaphysics. If you're a witch, you're a pagan, you're a druid, or any of the related religions, you know how important it is to touch and feel and get inspired by things. So on with the actual review. This is the Tarot Draconis. This is another Leo Scarabeo. I'm going to have to learn how to say that. Tarot. The author is Davide Corsi. It's the same author as the Ghost Tarot. So I find that's quite interesting and exciting because, I did like the Ghost Tarot. It wasn't a perfect tarot, but it was good. If you want to see that review, check it back in my links. This is the front and back of the box. As you see, the box is very beautifully illustrated. So that's what caught my eye and attention to it. So it does come with, again, one of these little tiny books that are generally not very useful. I would like to see a larger book with more inspiration, maybe. But it does come in 6 languages. It does have the very basics of tarot in here to read it. So you encourage you to flip through it, look at it when you get the tarot, see the thought process. But I'm a little disappointed with these little books. Tarot makers, please do something better. Thank you. All right. So let's look at it. So this is a little bit of a larger size deck. It's a little bit larger than a regular playing deck of cards. Playing deck of cards is about this size, so just a little bit bigger. So, think about the width of shuffling. Again, got the small hands. Got to think about this, but wait until you see images will more than make up for the size of the deck. So the back is yin yang. It has a gold dragon when you face it this way. And if you look, you can see the red dragon when it faces this way. So they are slightly reversible, has a lot of nice moon features on the corner. And if you look very closely, the edge, if I can get it to focus here, right in here, dragon scales. That's what I'm talking about. Even the back has some feistiness to it. Some red fire. It has a very oriental feel, which I think is very appropriate for a dragon. But you'll find not all the dragon images, in fact, very few, are oriental related. So Eastern culture, dragons are a little bit different than the Western culture dragons. So I like the blend of the two coming together here. So some key points I'd like to show to you guys. Just note that these cards have, they are indicated with numbers and the icon of the element it's representing. Like, I shouldn't say element, the association. So you have your pentacles, your swords, your staffs, and your cups. But one thing I want to make note and very clear, let me find one of these for you, is that the major arcana has no words. They're just numbered. So if you don't know your major arcana, this may be a little bit more difficult to read if you're going by book definition, and you will have to have a firm grasp. If you're using these as an intuitive read, you don't really need the names anyway, and so it takes less clutter. These images on these cards are so dynamic that I think you could very easily use this in an intuitive read situation. So don't be afraid of them because this hasn't any words. I think you will find that you'll be able to read them without them. If not, learn your major arcana. The other do have the numbers, and then like this is a pentacle, and you notice it's also green, which is the color of the pentacle. It's grounding, it's earth. You have, let me find another one, swords. It's tones of yellow, which is air. We have staffs. And it's actually an arrow down here, which I find interesting. But it's red for fire. And of course, we have, let me find one, blue for cups, which is water. So the colors represent the elements. So just because there's still water in this picture if you look closely, but you don't have to have water in the picture to really get that feeling. And then, of course, the major arcana are kind of this kind of browny, kind of gold color. They're all kind of that color. So that makes sense because that's kind of a higher value color. Not that gold is higher value, but it's a sense of highness. So it makes very, very good sense. So I've pulled a few of these cards out, done a couple readings. I really love them. It has a nice thickness. They're semi-matte on the back, so it's a little rough, so you can grab a hold of the card. It's not real slick, but it's still kind of shiny. I really like that. And then the other side is very shiny, very glossy, very, very nicely well done. I love the pictures on these. I think, if you're a true dragon lover, I think you'll get it. I can see where a lot of these were inspired by The Hobbit, so keep that in mind as well. So I'm going to leave you now. I'm going to go do a flip through of all the cards. Please feel free to pause the video if you want to see individual cards a little closer. I kept it kind of short because I tend to ramble, and I know you guys like short videos. So enjoy, and then until next time, I hope you have a very magical day, and I hope this video helps you determine if the Dragoness, The Dragoness Tarot is for you. Thanks.